Check it out. What if I told you the reason you're still stuck on guitar, in particularly with lead guitar and improvisation, isn't that you know too few of scales, but it's because you know too many? And in this video, I'm going to explain to you the ACE system and why it works better than learning more patterns, more shapes, more scales. So if you're new to this channel, you're probably wondering, who is this guy? Well, my name is Ty Keller. I'm an actively gigging guitarist. Last weekend, I opened up for Casey Donahue and Joe Nichols, and I've opened up with several other bands like Saliva, Drowning Pool, Trapped, Ludo, Tantric, and I've been teaching guitar for over a decade, and I've been playing guitar for 20 years. I've taught myself how to play the piano. So this is basically my life. I do this all the time, and I have a fire inside that's not going to stop. I've actually got another channel I'm building, which is going to be what I believe kind of help me springboard on my releasing my music, because I have 300 songs. I'm releasing 2 of them every week, and I'm trying to figure out what really separates the musical artist today than it was yesterday. And really the simple answer to that is you got to be a hero. So there's more that goes into that, and I'm doing that on my other channel. So if you're curious about that, I might have a link in the description to my other channel where I basically go and use a circle of fifths and compose songs in like 30 minutes in episodes, where I'm also going to be different characters. Oh, backwards. Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it, right? Some may say F sharp is the keys. No, it's C. C, by the way, is all the white keys on the piano. It's the key that you should learn first. And if you master one key, you master all the keys, which is what this video is about. And the reason I tell you that learning more and more scales is not the answer is because that's what I did. I practiced all 7 of the modes, and I practiced them. I know them up and down, forward and backwards. But when it came to improvising and actually playing freely, I was still stuck. So this journey started for me back in 2012 when I first started learning this music theory stuff, because I was at a point, I was working at Best Buy in the musical instruments department, and I wanted to become a songwriter. I wanted to sing and create my own songs, and I didn't really even know how to sing. So I was like taking the leap of faith. And then I went online and I searched the internet, and I found this course, and it had the scale theory, it had the cage system. So I learned the cage system. It had the major scale formula, it had the chord formula, it had the intervals, it had the 1, 3s, and 5s of all the chords, and then the 1, 3, 5s, and 7s for the major, minor, and dominant 7 chords. And I remember just looking at this stuff, and I was looking in the corner, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So I put a song together in the key of G, and I was like, okay, cool. So I guess I kind of figured it out. But it wasn't until 2016 when I was dabbling in teaching the guitar, and then I finally got the final push in 2016, and I decided to go all in. And it wasn't until I started teaching guitar that I really had to learn this stuff, because I had students coming to me with questions. And there's nothing worse than them asking you a question and be like, I don't know, but I'll find out. And so that's what I did. I made it a mission, because I wanted to really know the instrument too, because I already started my journey in 2012, 2013, but actually teaching it was really what helped push me to really actually learn it, because I would have to teach these concepts. They say if you want to be great at something, you have to learn how to teach it, and then you will really grasp the concept. So I started teaching it, and I was doing it for a while, and then in 2017, I went to Chicago, and I went to this seminar, and I was learning from some really great guitar teachers, because I was learning how to become a better guitar teacher. And I was listening in, and I heard one guy, his name was Eric, he's talked about if pattern 1 is the most important, then what's the second most important? It's pattern number 4. And I was listening, I was like, oh. So I was like eavesdropping. I was kind of like being a spy, right? And then I learned about how you can play the major scale horizontally. I was like, no way. And it also connected theory. I was like, this is beautiful. And then the final moment, I was at this one session. This guy named Joe Walsh, he showed me this arpeggio on this triad or chord tone, right? And then it was a full legato of the full minor scale. And I was like, wait a second. This is linked to pattern 4 pentatonic. And this one's linked to pattern 1 pentatonic. And then there's this little bridge thing. And I was like, I felt like a mad scientist who'd finally come up with this idea. Or like Thomas Edison, he's finally discovering the light bulb, because the light bulb came off in my head. And I remember like looking around, I was like, does anybody else know about this? Did I just discover the theory of relativity for lead guitar on accident? So because basically, I discovered that the bottom 3 strings, the G, the B, and E, or the top strings technically, right? G, B, and E. If you can just get rid of the top 3 and then navigate using these chord tones, it will make your life so much easier. And then what you can do with those chord tones, which I'm going to talk about in this video, is you can link it to pattern 1 pentatonic and pattern 4 pentatonic. And then there's this little bridge thing, which you can link to a modal position, which is a very powerful position. This bridge is what I call it. It's a very powerful position, but it basically bridges you from the home base to the outpost. So there's 3 different spots, 1, 2, 3. And like I mentioned before, it's not about knowing more, it's about knowing less. Now, I will say that learning the modes did definitely help my technique because I practiced those a lot, but I wasn't able to connect the dots. And I also practiced the horizontal major scale a lot. And I learned that after I started connecting these dots. So it was super powerful for me when I actually started this because I came back after learning these chord tones and linking them with the minor pentatonic and then the minor scale or major scale. They're not major triads because there's a slight difference, which is not in the scope of this video. I have a free course where if you want to hear more about that, you can check it out. 100% free. My life's work for free. No charge. Anyways, I came back and I teamed up with this lead singer of a band I was in several years ago. And it was a reggae group at the time. The drummer really liked reggae music. And we were playing a song, and I looked at what chords he was playing. I was like, okay, yeah, I know the tonic. I know the relative minor. Now I just got to find these touch points. And I was just ripping it. It was like I had the sauce now. And not only I could do it in any key, I was no longer stuck. And if I was going to make a mistake, because you probably have this too, that you're guessing or you're afraid to make a mistake. If you do make a mistake, you don't know how to correct it and you freeze, and it's very embarrassing, right? That's like the whole biggest fear of playing lead guitars. You're going to play a wrong note, but there's no wrong notes, just poor choices. But that's another conversation. But anyways, that happened, and then I wrote 100 songs in 2019 with a singer-songwriter. So I was playing in the band, we got back together, I was doing this, and about 2019, 2020, I got to the point after I'd implemented the system for long enough, I was like, I'm finally to the point where I have no blocks. And now the Force is my ally. Like in Empire Strikes Back, Yoda, he's like, a Jedi has got the Force as his ally. So I finally, I got it. I got this music theory. And later I realized that, because I played piano in 2020, I started learning to play the piano and singing. I learned that the guitar is basically just a instrument. Obviously, it's an instrument to express music, or median to express music. And this might sound simple, and I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but basically, there's only really three main areas of being a great musician or a great guitar player. It's your repertoire, which are songs you've learned, and then recognizing those patterns and then modeling your repertoire and your own songs after that, it's a bucket. Then you have the technique bucket, which is your scales and your arpeggios, basically. And then you have your music theory, which is basically learning how to connect the dots and figuring out what key you're in, what tonic you're in, what mode do you use, what's minor scale, which is what the system has basically allowed me to do, is connect all the dots. And then right in the middle of those three, like if you imagine a Venn diagram, right in the middle is when you get all three of those buckets pretty full. That's when you become a virtuoso guitar player or a master, in my opinion. And I didn't get a degree or anything, but it's I can roll with any musician now. It's easy. And hopefully you want that too, which is why you're here. So if you're like me and you're improvising and you're writing solos, you're creating riffs and licks, there's a teacher, his name is Bruce Lee. He said, simplicity is brilliance. And I truly believe this. Less is more. And with this framework, you're going to start realizing when you don't have to think about where you're going, you can focus on what you're doing. And when you start listening to solos too, you're going to, unless you're into really super shred, even the super shredders, take Sinister Gates. There's parts where he's just ripping it, and you can do that too when you know the system. But there's also parts that aren't that way. So it's about an ebb and flow. It's about a push and a pull. And I have principles of improvisation that I use that I show to my students, which you can check out below. It's all in the course. I think it's chapter 11 or chapter 12. But yeah, basically, less is more. Simplicity is really brilliance. So let's just get down to the system and the formula. I'm just going to teach it to you because it doesn't change. It's unchanging. So the first thing you need to do when you're using the system is you need to establish what the tonic is. So there's 12 keys total. So that's 12 tonics. All right? And the thing is, the key, somebody might say F Lydian. Do you know what that means? That means you're playing all the chords in the key of C, but you're starting on an F chord, or the 4 chord. This is the Lydian. So the tonic is C, it's not F. So this is uncommon, but it will happen a lot of times. So you need to, otherwise you're going to get lost. If you don't realize, take Sweet Child of Mine, the tonic is G, but it starts on a D chord. It's D mixolydian. And this is how you should be learning the modes. This is how you can come up with more creative chord progressions. You could do Dorian. Sometimes you might be playing Santana, and it's a D Dorian. The tonic is C. So the first step of this formula is you need to figure out what the tonic is. That's step one. You figure out what the tonic is. Step two is you figure out the relative minor. For that, that's easy. So the hardest part is first figuring out what the tonic is and starting to connect these dots of this circle of fifths, which I believe is the best tool, which you should go print it out. If you want it, leave a comment. I'll send it to you. You get this, you print it out. If you don't have a printer, find a printer. Somehow, there's a will, there's a way. Print it out, cut it out, and paste it on the back of your guitar. One of my students, Gareth, he did this. And I started showing this as soon as I learned it in Chicago. I came back and I showed it to him. He was just crushing it. He was just ripping it because he was implementing it and he was doing what I was telling him to do. And he believed in himself. And that's 80% of my job, by the way, is just making you believe that you can do this. If you want to be master, virtuoso level guitar player, and you don't want to go get a degree, you can go get a degree. You probably learn this stuff. You probably learn other stuff that's not even relevant. Or maybe you won't. I can't say because I don't have a degree in music. I have a degree in karate, though. That took me 10 years to get. Anyways, where were we? Oh, yes. Step one, you establish the tonic. Step two, figure out the relative minor, which is on this circle. It's smaller, though, because you need to start memorizing these because it's very important to figure out the relative minor. I think Bach said there's a relative major and the relative minor. Those are the only main two keys. But that's not entirely true because country, F, or if you're in G, C, Lydian, right? The Lydian mode's used all the time in country music. So it's really important you figure out the tonic and you find the relative minor. After you find the relative minor, you find the touch points, which are those chord tones that I discovered. I would recommend you find the minor chord tones because you find the relative minor, you find the minor chord tones. It's just easier. You have to trust me. You could try to use the majors. You could try to use all 7 of the modes. You could try to figure out all 5 of the pentatonics, which I will break out of this system or this framework. I'll break out of these rules, but I know where the rules are. It's like a safety net, maybe not a safety net, but it's like it's staying in the guardrails. Because I wrote a song. Caleb sent me a song that he wrote, and I came up with a lead guitar play. I didn't even use any of this. I was just using my ear, and I was using octave chords mostly, and I was keeping it simple. But the whole point is train hard to fight easy. So that's the that's the formula. Now we have the 3-5-7 framework. So the 3 are those chord tones, those touch points. You can find them using major triads if you want to, but you need to find them on the D, the G, and the B string. So you use the minor touch points, which I highly recommend you use. Those 3 chord tones, those are your touch points, which you're going to link to the 5, which is the pentatonic. Pentatonic is a 5-note scale. So you use the chord tones to find your spot. Then you're probably going to want to use the 5-note pentatonic scale. Now, once you get really good, you can use the 7-note minor scale to really spice things up. But to the relative major scale, the 4 and the 7 note, or let's say the key is C, the F and the B, those are going to be more risky, and you're probably going to want to pass over them more likely than not and be able to correct them. That's why it comes all back to the framework of the triads and the pentatonic. And it's so beautiful if you can have faith in this system, because I know it works. People pay me thousands of dollars. They've paid me thousands of dollars to learn this, okay? And I've tested it. They've tested it, and it works. And there's nothing else, I guarantee you, when it comes to navigation, if you don't know what to do and you're improvising and you don't know what to do, if you just do this, you'll be way ahead of any other caged system, modal system ever. I mean, I already told you, I use this. This is all I use when I'm improvising, I'm coming up with solos. And your heroes are doing it too. Pattern 1 and pattern 4 pentatonic. 2 of the touch points are linked to pattern 1 and pattern 4. The other one is a bridge, which is a hybrid with a modal scale, a 7-note scale, which will really just allow you to connect the dots, because there's one, but it sounds abrupt sometimes when you shift all the way up. So if you can learn how to connect it, and you got 3 options, and that's it. You don't need more scales. You don't need more modes, because this is the modes. It's the chord. They never tell you this. It's the chord that matters. It's the chord progression. If you want to talk modes, write songs and use chord progressions. But that's easy. This is lead guitar we're talking about. Playing chord progressions is easy. Hopefully, if chord progressions isn't easy for you, I don't know. You need to play in a band, or you need to play with other musicians, because that's back to the 3 buckets, which I think I talked about already. Maybe I didn't. Repertoire, technique, and theory. If you haven't built up your repertoire, this video is not for you. You need to build up your repertoire, which is learning a bunch of songs and playing in the band, writing your own songs, writing your own guitar solos, playing gigs, going to jam sessions, improvising, getting a looper pedal and composing your own chord progressions, doing it and loving every second of it, which is another video on mindset, because outside of these 3 principles is a bigger circle, which is mindset. Your why. Why are you doing this? What's your focus? Who do you want to become? Do you want to be a musician who goes out and plays shows and does this? Because who you want to be is going to determine the actions you take. It's going to determine whether or not you even learn this framework, or if you learn songs, or if you write songs. That's why it's so important to get the mindset first, but nobody wants to talk about mindset. They want to show you tricks or hacks or how to play songs, which is great if you want to learn how to play songs and using tutorials, but the real way a musician learns songs is you memorize it. So that's why I'm kind of against tutorials, but in a sense they are kind of powerful, because I'd have to download videos just to see how they play something, like in a particular song or a fingering. But now you can go on YouTube. You can ask AI too if you want a lesson plan. You have all the information you need. I'm giving you all the information. I'm giving you my life's work of discovering this music theory stuff. It's all free. I just gave it to you all right there. So you do not need more information. All the information is available to you right now, right here, today. Now, if you want to know more about this, I have a full course I already mentioned before where you can check it out. It's 100% free. There's a workbook in there. And if you want to train with me, because the Avengers, they don't train alone. If you want to train and you want to get down to work and you actually want to do this and you want to train with other people, you want to ask questions to other people with me or maybe somebody else, you want to actually start releasing your songs, you want to start putting yourself out there, you want some accountability, you can check out the sprint. Happens on September 4th. If you like this video, make sure to like it, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Go out there and make it happen.